Hello everyone. So in my previous video we discussed the part of the structure and function of the heart. Now we will continue this topic. So in the previous video we have seen that heart has 4 chambers, 2 atrium and 2 ventricle. So there is complete separation of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. Now this 4-chambered heart is found in birds and mammals. Now what is the significance of this? See, when there is complete separation, the deoxygenated and oxygenated blood, they do not mix up. So the blood which is pumped to all the parts of the body, it is fully oxygenated and all the cells receives maximum oxygen. This oxygen is needed to break down food to release energy. It means more oxygen means more energy is released, and this more energy is needed in these two groups, that is birds and mammals, to maintain their constant body temperature. As you know that birds and mammals are warm-blooded. I hope you know what is warm-blooded. Organisms that are able to maintain their constant body temperature, they are called warm-blooded, and to maintain this they need lot of energy. Therefore the complete separation of the ventricle, that is complete separation of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood, helps to prevent the mixing of the two types of blood so that more oxygen is supplied. You have read about the heart chambers in the previous class. So what happens in the amphibians and reptiles? Their ventricle is not completely divided. Okay. Now amphibians have 3-chambered heart, 2 atrium and 1 ventricle, whereas reptiles also have 3-chambered heart, but their ventricle is partly divided. I'll show you this with the help of figure. See, here first I am drawing the heart of the birds and mammals, where there is complete, this is what? 4-chambered heart, which is found in which two group? Birds and mammals. How does it help them? Remember, these two groups, they are warm-blooded. Now let's see what happens in the amphibians and reptiles. In amphibians, this is the heart of an amphibian. This is 2 atrium, these are the 2. A stands for atrium and this is what? Ventricle. Here there is mixing of the both deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. This 3-chambered heart is found in amphibia. And what happens in reptiles? They also have 3-chambered heart, but the ventricle is partly divided. This is atrium and this is what? Ventricle. You can see this partition which partly divides the ventricle. So there is some separation of deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood. As you know that this is the right part, it has deoxygenated blood, it is left part, it has oxygenated blood. In case of amphibia there is mixing. Here also this is deoxygenated blood, here is oxygenated blood. There is partial separation. This kind of heart is found in reptiles or reptilia. How are they able to manage this mixing? Remember, these are cold-blooded. These animals are cold-blooded, means their body temperature is not constant. It fluctuates with the temperature of the environment. If the environment temperature goes high, their body temperature also rises, and if the temperature goes down, their body temperature also goes down. Therefore, they have different mechanism to cope with it. I hope you might have heard about the amphibians. That amphibians, what happens? During summer and winter, they become inactive. They go for summer sleep and winter sleep. Now there is one more group of vertebrate. We have talked about birds, mammals, amphibians, reptiles, and there is one more group, that is fish, which is also vertebrate. Now what happens in fish? Fish have 2-chambered heart. This is what? Atrium, This is ventricle. It receives blood from all the parts of the body. Now the blood from the ventricle, it goes to the lungs, breathing organ. This is lungs. From the lungs, the blood does not go back to the heart, but it is supplied to body parts. Okay, so in fish, this is fish. How many chambers are there? 2 chambers, and blood is passing through heart only once. This is also called single circulation. Whereas in amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals, blood passes through heart 2 times during each cardiac cycle. How? Blood enters the heart, atrium, goes to ventricle, then lungs, comes back to atrium and ventricle, then come to all the parts of the body. Whether ventricle is divided, partly divided or not divided, partly divided or completely divided. So this kind of blood circulation is called double circulation. Okay. So in exam like this here only the question came. Name the vertebrate that shows single circulation of blood. The answer is fish. What is single circulation? Blood passes through heart only once. See, the blood is coming to the heart, atrium, ventricle, then breathing organ. It is not lungs. I'm sorry, it is gills. Okay. So the blood is carried to the gills, and from the gills the blood does not come back to the heart, but from gills itself carried to body parts. Okay. But in amphibian, reptiles, birds and mammal, blood is passing through the heart twice. So what we have learnt in this, that heart ventricle is completely divided, and what is its significance in birds and mammals? It supplies more oxygen. More oxygen is needed for more energy, and this more energy is needed to maintain the constant body temperature. Okay. Now, what is single circulation? Blood passes through heart only once during each cycle. Which example? Fish. What is double circulation? Blood passes through heart 2 times during each cardiac cycle. Example is amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammal. Out of these, amphibian and reptiles are cold-blooded and birds and mammals are warm-blooded. Okay, next I will explain. See, if you have an NCERT book, you have downloaded the PDF or you have the book. It is given on page number 106. Figure is 6.11. It is schematic representation of transport of O2 and CO2. I am drawing here a schematic figure. Suppose this is the heart. Okay. The heart. I am drawn the 4 chambers. Heart. Blood is coming to this chamber. From here the blood ventricle, and from here it is going to lungs, and from lungs it is coming back. This is one cycle. So blood coming to heart, going to lung and coming back. This circulation is called pulmonary circulation. Okay. What it is called? Pulmonary circulation. From lungs the purified blood reaches this left ventricle, from here to body parts, body, and from body again back to the heart. This is called systemic circulation. Though these terms are not used in your NCERT book, but just for the sake of knowledge I am saying. So this is how exchange of O2 and CO2 occurs. Where? In the lungs and in all the body parts. Okay. So this is, what are the 2 components of double circulation? One is pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary word is always related to lungs. It means heart to lungs and lungs back to heart. This is pulmonary. Systemic, heart to body, body to heart. I hope you have understood that. What is schematic representation of transport of O2 and CO2, and the significance of the complete separation of the ventricle. Now today I will take up one more topic, that is blood pressure. Okay. Now what is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the force. The blood pressure is the force that blood exerts against the wall of the blood vessel. This is called blood pressure. See, when the ventricles contract and relax, at both the time there is blood in the arteries. So the pressure which is felt inside the artery, when the heart chamber, when the ventricles contract, at that time the blood pressure inside the artery is greater. This is called systolic pressure. Systole refers to the contraction of the heart chambers. So when the two ventricles contract, this phase is called ventricular systole. At that time pressure in the artery is called systolic pressure, and it measures about 120 mm of mercury. Okay, when the ventricles are relaxing, relaxation of the heart chamber is called diastole. So when the ventricles are relaxing, this phase is called ventricular diastole. At that time the pressure inside the artery is called diastolic pressure. Okay, it is called diastolic pressure, and its value is 80 mm of mercury. Now, what is the cause of this blood pressure? It is caused by the constriction of the arterioles. The branches of the artery is called arterioles. When they become narrow due to deposition of cholesterol, then the blood pressure increases. And the effect is what? It would lead to increase in the blood pressure, would lead to rupture of the artery and internal bleeding. Now I'll take up just one more topic, that is artery and vein differences. The artery is a blood vessel that carries blood from heart to body parts, whereas veins brings blood back from body part to heart. Second, artery carries oxygen rich blood except pulmonary artery. Veins carry carbon dioxide rich blood except pulmonary vein. Third, artery has thick wall whereas veins have thin wall. Next, arteries do not have valves. Valves are just like you can imagine gate which opens in only one direction. So veins have valves because veins have to bring blood from the lower parts of the body back to the heart. So at distance they have valves. Once the blood passes the one part, that valve is like a gate that closes, which prevents the backflow of the blood. And another difference is artery is deeply situated whereas veins are superficial. We can see it under our skin as bluish greenish lines. I hope you have understood. So today we discussed what is single circulation, double circulation, what is blood pressure and blood vessels. Thank you.